Time now for some business news, and we can take a look at the markets in Asia. Asian shares were mixed as initial euphoria about the gains that closed out last week on Wall Street faded quickly. Japan's benchmark Nikkei 225 gained a 0.3%, South Korea's Kospi added 0.2%, and Hong Kong's Hang Seng dipped 0.7%, while the Shanghai Composite lost 0.2%. Now, could the world see a return to supersonic commercial travel? That appears to be the hope of United Airlines, which looks to be bucking the trend of airlines downsizing amid the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. The U.S. carrier is investing $3 billion in new supersonic aircraft, ones that would run on sustainable fuel.
Meet the jet of tomorrow. At least that's the hope for Boom Supersonic, a US startup that's unveiled its plans for next-generation travel by turning to the past. The world previously had Concorde, the British-French-designed passenger jet that cut flight time between Paris and New York from nearly 8 hours to just 3.5. In 1970, her prototype clocked in at over 2,000 kilometers an hour.
Nous venons d'atteindre Mach 2.
Concorde continued flying until 2003, a victim of soaring fuel and operational costs at the time. Now, though, Boom Supersonic's design, called the Overture, has drawn interest from United Airlines. The US carrier has already ordered 15, despite the obstacles that lie ahead.
D'abord écologique, il faut réussir à faire un avion qui ne consomme pas trop de carburant et il faut qu'il ne fasse pas de bruit, alors qu'on a un banc supersonique normalement quand on va très très vite. Ensuite, il y a la dimension économique, ça coûte très cher de développer ce genre de choses, donc il faut réussir à lever l'argent. Et le développement technologique, normalement, ça doit être faisable, ça nécessite beaucoup de travail, mais avec de l'argent, ils y arriveront.
Other firms have already tried and failed. Startup Aerion abandoned development on its own project through lack of funding, and that was despite support from Boeing. Either way, it'll be some time before the Overture takes to the skies. The first flight is planned in 2029.
Here in France, a new type of investor has entered the stock buying pool, youth. Making the most of their free time over the past year as a result of COVID, many have sought to learn the trading game, with over a quarter of the country's new investors under the age of 35. Jean-Emile Jamin has this report.
Once a week, 22-year-old Clément Vanier takes a look at his investments. For 6 months now, he's been placing his savings in the stock market.
You can find investments here, like on the 500 biggest US companies.
He's also taken similar options out on some of the biggest European companies.
As a young person and during this period of COVID, I had no external expenses. So all the money I didn't spend on young activities, I put aside and invested in the stock market to try and make a profit.
His current investment is in a winning position, increasing by 1.5% per month. The stock market has begun attracting a new and younger generation in France. Last year, there were 410,000 new investors. Among them, over a quarter were under the age of 35. Buying shares has become simpler than ever before. Several easy-to-use mobile applications have been launched on the market, with young people now less afraid to take risks. However, financial market authorities have called for restraint and caution.
It's essential to remove the fun aspect. It facilitates the access, but of course we are in the world of investment with risks and strategies and also progressive portfolio growth. And all of these new investors will learn it as they go along.
Stock exchange novices are currently putting in an average of €2,100, a figure 2 times less than experienced investors.